Hey, this is David, and it's pretty late at night, uh, but I felt like it was good to address something pretty serious. I was on the front page of Reddit. If you're not a Redditor, you should go to reddit.com and sign up. It's awesome. But I'll let you figure that out for yourselves. And it said there was a little post on the front page that said, "Make sure this guy sees justice." So I went and it was linked to a YouTube video called Judge William Adams beats daughter for using the internet. First of all, I didn't know this stuff could even be on YouTube, much less 7.5 minutes of it. This judge beats his daughter Hillary, beats the stuffing out of her. It's pretty terrible with a belt. The description in the video says, took a belt to his own teenage daughter as punishment for using the internet to acquire music and games that were unavailable for legal purchase at the time. And she was 16 at the time. And let me get this straight. I don't support pirating anything. Even as I'm doing graphic design stuff, and I want certain software in order to achieve great things in graphic design. I'd rather use cheaper freeware than pirate it. And as a musician and an artist, I know that it sucks to have your stuff not paid for and being stolen. But at the same time, it is normal. And it sucks, but it's normal. And there's no real way to stop it. You could always say, let's try to tell people to stop, but unfortunately it isn't. It's kind of ingrained into society as it is. And though I'd love for people to pay for their music, pretty sure it's not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, I pay for all my music. I'm not trying to be uppity, but I pay for all my music, and I don't play games, so I don't have to really pay for any. And all the games I get are free, cheapy iPhone games. So, I mean, pay for your stuff. I mean, I encourage people, pay for your stuff, but most people aren't going to take that seriously. Unfortunately, like I said, it's normal. So, as a parent, address it to your kids, like, hey, stealing stuff is wrong. But at the same time, don't expect it to stop. It's probably going to happen again, unless you start funding your kid, or setting aside your own personal savings for music. It's probably not going to happen. And personally, beating anybody in general, wrong. The only time you should ever lay a hand on another human being, unless you're comforting them, or it's a positive touch and in a non-threatening way, the only time you should ever lay a hand of physical harm towards anybody is in self-defense. Not to, quote-unquote, from the video, teach them a lesson. Or using any object to inflict any harm on anybody other than self-defense or defense of the people around you. If someone around you is getting hurt, then sure, stick up for them. Or if you're about to get hurt or something, defend yourself. I'm not saying just sit there, defend yourself. But to hurt somebody else, to inflict pain on somebody else, rashly and aggressively, to teach them a lesson is just wrong. So and she also has ataxic cerebral palsy, and I did a little bit of research on it just to get a little knowledge on it, and it's a dysfunction of the cerebellum. basically what happens is you can't control or move different body parts because the nerves aren't attached to the cerebellum, right? So this girl is defenseless, you know. I mean, granted, she's 16 and young, so that already is against her, you know, against her father, but she also has this disease that plagues her and inflicts her and keeps her from defending herself. It's terrible. So it says also that the judge's wife was emotionally abused herself and was severely manipulated into assisting the beating and should not be blamed for any of the content in this video. The judge's wife has since left the marriage due to the abuse, which continues to this day, and has sincerely apologized and repented for her part and for allowing such a thing. Long before she knew the video ever existed, from what it says over here. And though I'm excited and happy that the wife repented and was forgiven and left the marriage, that's awesome. But I mean, I don't know. I'm a little torn on whether she should be held responsible or not. I mean, if the daughter's forgiven her, and you know, forgive and forget, I do believe in that. At the same time, it's only natural to want full justice. So I'm not sure what to think about that. But justice needs to be served on Judge William Adams. Period. That needs to happen. Top comment shows the address of his workplace. It's 301 North Live Oak Street, Rockport, Texas, 78382. They also have a phone number. It's 361-790-0138. Either give them a call, like at his workplace, or call or email a news station. People have been calling CNN, 2020, Fox, whatever news station you watch. Make sure they know. And let's get this guy in jail. And I'm not a person that's like, let's go ruin some guy's life, you know, that's it. But the people that are abusing other people, that needs to stop. The disregard and the lack of value for the life of another person needs to stop. And I'm not saying that we're going to single-handedly stop this. I'm honestly not saying this will ever be fully stopped. But if we can get it at least reduced, if we can do our part to reduce this to a bare minimum, it would be wonderful. Let's stop this stuff. And he's a judge. I mean, he is in the Texas and the U.S. court system, supposedly providing equality and justice for the public. Really? This guy's putting people behind bars. And unfortunately, he was elected, and he's been re-elected multiple times. I don't see how that can happen. So we also need to see if there's a way we can make sure that doesn't happen. Make sure people get a background check, you know, and not just during the years that they're first elected, but during the years that they're re-elected. They're up for re-election. Let's make sure that they're not known in their family for beating their children, you know, or their teenagers, or verbally abusing their wives. So again, make sure to call this guy's place of business. Let's make sure that William Adams finds justice. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. I'm gonna study a little bit and hit the hay. Gotta do a plug first things first. Not everybody, not most people in America, but especially in Texas, people are trolling on YouTube and saying, "Oh, typical Texans doing a typical thing." I live in Texas myself. Most people in Texas are not like this. They don't call it Southern hospitality for nothing. Can't find a nicer group of people to be with. People in Texas can be wonderful people. A little rough around the edges sometimes, but wonderful. Very DIY, solve your problems by yourself. That's just the way Texas is, but I mean, almost every family that I've encountered, and everyone has their problems too, but at the same time, even in the houses that have problems, they seem to address it. And if I go to a friend's house, they'd always, be accepting and, kind, and, it's almost like a big family in Texas for most people. Again, that doesn't apply for all people, but neither does this abusive guy. This, anyway. Speaking of Texas, I'm in a Christian metal band. Excuse me. Called Our Eternal Refuge. Check us out. We're pretty good. We're definitely getting better. Give us a like on Facebook. Whether or not you're Christian, if you like metal, we'll be putting out some recordings pretty soon that are better than the track that's on there. And if you're a Christian, even if you don't like metal, it'd be nice to have your support as well. There are also a lot of good metal bands in Texas right now coming up, Christian and non-Christian. A couple of the brother bands that we play with are Sink the Empire. Evolution's Epitaph is fantastic if you like kind of the progressive thrash metal, a little bit of metalcore. What We Call Home is actually playing their first show pretty soon. We're excited to see what they can do. Some bigger bands are Sleep Now Sevilla. They're kind of a brother band. They're amazing. Check out Sleep Now Sevilla. I'll put links in the description. We've also got Fit for a King. They're also amazing. A Bullet for Pretty Boy, again, wonderful. And Flood Mercia, great. When Forever Ends is also fantastic. And Ghost of the I can never say their name. Ghost of the Pavelia. Anyway, all great bands. Check them all out. Real good. Expand that music library. Be a little metal hipster. Like, hey, this is some obscure band you never heard of, or just be like, hey, this is an awesome band that I heard about the other day on YouTube. So, thanks for watching. Let's make sure this guy gets put to justice. Okay, guys? God bless.